Hello, beautiful souls, and welcome to another episode of Return to the Inner Child podcast. I'm your host, Elizabeth Lucy Ivanecki. Welcome to the family and community. I'm grateful to be on this journey with all of you. Today on the podcast, we have a wonderful guest, Jacky Salazar. Jacky is currently training to be a holistic therapist. Woohoo!
Awesome.
And she is based in Arkansas in the US. She's a proud Latina from Guatemala building a life in the US. Jacky, thank you so much for being on the podcast today.
Thank you, Elizabeth. I'm so excited to be here.
I'm super excited too. To start off, what ways have you been working toward a goal this week?
Ooh, okay. I just mentioned that I kind of hurt myself going to the gym, and I felt that that was a step back instead of moving forward. The way I'm approaching this, and I think that's the best way, is just to evaluate if I could do a different exercise instead of just being stagnant and not doing anything. I started practicing yoga again. Instead of going to the gym, I'm doing yoga. Instead of doing my long walks, I'm doing bicycle at the gym. That's how I'm approaching my fitness goal this week, even though I hurt myself.
Yeah, I know. Even myself, I've been sick. And it's been a challenge because I have to focus on recovery and I can't go out dancing as much as I like to. So yeah, it's been a lesson to slow down and focus on my recovery.
I feel like our bodies, because they cannot talk to us directly, and pain or any discomfort is a way that the bodies have to communicate with us.
Yeah.
When I felt from my left finger and then my left foot, that was a sign for me that probably I was doing too much and I needed to just slow down a little bit and find different things instead of just give up on my weekly goal, a fitness journey.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good that you pivoted to something different that was low pressure. And yeah, you're still keeping active, but just in a different way. You'll get back to walking once
Yeah,
you recover.
definitely.
So let's get into childhood. What were you like as a child? Like, how would you describe yourself?
On all my memories for things were common. So I was a smart kid. I'm gonna say clever. I just had some ways to see the world. I found different ways to solve an issue, for instance. It just had that thing in my mind that something came up and I already knew what to do with that. I also was a curious child, and I think that combination of being clever and curious got me into the puzzles. I like puzzles so very much.
Oh, puzzles, nice.
And also I had a strong moral compass, and I like that one very much. I remember watching Disney Channel and they had a challenge. They were talking about the climate change, and that challenge asked you to turn off lights for an hour, I don't know what time. And I remember my dad watching TV and I was like, just turn it off, please. And I keep pushing him to turn it off because I wanted to do what Disney Channel said to do. And I have so many examples about that behavior being consistent throughout my childhood.
Oh, interesting.
Also, I don't think this is a bad thing, but I remember had a bad temper.
Okay.
And I wanted to share that because I think you're not connected to your emotions and you start feeling what we think are bad emotions, like anger. You feel bad because you think that you shouldn't be feeling that. And I grew up thinking that way. I would react. I remember just being in a bad mood, mad for something. And probably I guess the reactions that my parents had didn't help me to understand that. So I grew up with that. I grew up thinking that maybe getting mad for something wasn't right. And obviously that took me to places where I wouldn't respect my own boundaries, that I wouldn't communicate what I was feeling or just communicate my thoughts, you know. I think those four things were part of my childhood.
The fact that you were thinking outside of the box and you were very intuitive already as a child. I find that about you today even. You're very intuitive, very connected with your body, and have a good emotional awareness too. So it's interesting that it stemmed in childhood. I also had a temper too, and I was very sensitive as a child. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, I was moody, stubborn.
Right, yeah, me too.
And I cried a lot.
Yeah, same here with movies.
The best was when I was sad, I would go to the washroom to cry.
Hey,
I didn't even want my family to see that. I needed that space to let my emotions out.
that's interesting. I don't think I ever did that. I was very reactive. And my dad would react with me. So that
Yeah,
was two volcanoes all reacting at the same time. That was not good.
I feel that. I feel that.
Mhm.
And how would you say, as a child, you responded to life and to others?
I think there was a moment when I just started questioning my usual behavior and I was looking for my parents' approval or any other adult approval. And I stopped doing what I wanted and just, doing what they wanted. I see myself doing that a lot.
I really relate to that too. I think it's so normal too. You want to make your parents proud, want to, yeah, seek their validation and their approval because we hold them in such high esteem. One of my friends recently was saying that we we need to live for ourselves, and that means too uh, not always choosing what our parents want for us. And
Yeah.
that's been a lesson I've been really learning this year
Mhm.
and honing in on that and practicing it and living it out. It's difficult because we want to make our parents proud.
Growing up, you look up to them. I mean, it's not their fault. I think we choose our parents and they were perfect for our growth. But there's a when you get to a time in your life where you have to make your own decisions, that's hard. If you're
Yeah.
not conscious about that and how your childhood affects your adult life, it makes it harder.
There's a lot of self-trust required too. As we get older, we actually do know more what's best for us than our parents. But when we are younger, I would say it's the opposite. Our parents know better for us
Mm-hmm.
because they're older, wiser. They've lived through more life than we have. Even in adult life, I always consult them too and ask their advice. At the end of the day, I really try to focus on making my own decisions and make sure that this is something that I wanted to choose, not that they wanted for me.
And just have that conviction on yourself. You
Yeah.
will do it, and it doesn't matter what
Yeah,
happens.
yeah. No,
Mhm.
exactly.
Just be responsible for your own decisions. I think that's a challenge for everyone, including for me right now. That self-trust. I think I need to work more on that, just to be more confident in myself and responsible about my own decisions.
Yeah, that's something big. Let's get into as well what made you happy as a child.
Okay, I actually like that question. So puzzles, music videos. I remember watching MTV whenever they play music videos
Mhm.
because now they don't do that. I was in gymnastics too.
Oh,
It's
that's
not like
cool.
US gymnastics. But it wasn't the same level of gymnastics, compared to the US. Zumba. I liked Michael Jackson.
Oh my gosh, I love Michael. My whole family loves him. We love him.
He's the greatest. Harry Potter.
Oh, Harry Potter was big. Yes.
I also remember being happy at school. I
Hmm.
remember just being happy about learning. I don't know how old I was when I started reading. My parents said that it was a very young age, maybe 3, something like that. So I had a interest in going to school. And also Disney Channel.
Disney,
I
yeah.
like Disney
There's so
Channel.
many lessons in those movies.
The shows too.
Yes,
Recent.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's true. Yeah, I can see that as well. What you said about school. You still like to learn, you're still taking courses. Even Aaron's group always
Yeah.
attracting. We're learning so much in that group from Aaron, from each other, from his guests. It's an amazing group.
Mm-hmm.
So shout out to Aaron Sharif.
Yeah. Thank you, Erin.
But yeah, so
Yeah, he's the greatest too.
yeah, he's doing great. Yeah, it's interesting as well, like with puzzles. I want to get into that a little bit more. What about puzzles did you enjoy?
It was the sense of building, putting things together. Remember, I got a 1,000 piece puzzle. It was a huge white horse, and that was just my favorite thing. I didn't care how much time I spent doing that. I just enjoyed it so much. Just,
Oh,
you have just so many things and you just put together. I think my brain likes that kind of stimulation.
that's nice. You were always active as a child as well. That's very important, I find. Even growing up for me, my parents they put us into karate. Oh my gosh, I feel embarrassed to admit that I didn't retain my.
Okay.
I had fun. My brother was better at it. We were always very active, right? They took us for walks, they took us biking, swimming. They instilled in us the importance of fitness and
Okay.
maintaining physical health.
Yeah, I like that. I also like ballet. I remember going to ballet class growing up.
Oh, that's interesting. What did you like about ballet?
Honestly, when I think about that, I don't think those were my best memories growing up because I was so self-assured about my appearance, and
Oh,
I obviously liked the elegance and how you move gracefully. But other than that, I think it was just a challenge for me because I would look at myself, right? And I would compare
yeah.
myself to the other girls. And when we presented, we beat Quijote de la Mancha, the Spanish.
I don't know what that means. I am learning Spanish actually, but it's very limited.
Novel by Miguel.
Okay.
Let me see how the Don Quixote. That's
Don Quixote. I know that one. Yeah.
well, that was that was our ballet show,
Hmm.
and I don't know what happened, and I gave up that.
It's interesting what you said about like comparison to others. What were you comparing about yourself with them? Where did you feel you were lacking?
I'm gonna try to visualize myself at that age. I might have been 15,
Okay.
and so I was a teenager. So I had that insecurity, my appearance insecurity,
Oh,
and
that's beautiful.
and I was overweight, and it was just that my mind was in that mindset, and at some point I didn't think I was doing a good job. I didn't think I was worthy of it. It's so weird how as my current self look back and just see that, and I feel so sad about that because didn't I think I had that support to get me that confidence in myself. It was
Yeah.
me and my thoughts. I would look myself at the mirror, and then I would look at the other girls, and I didn't feel that confidence. I think it was just like me putting obstacles, and something happened. Like I can't remember what happened, and I just stopped going.
Yeah, I feel that. Well, I was always curvy as well. That's also one of the things that I was always comparing myself to others with, and even to this day. But I learned though to embrace my body at different sizes. I find that I'm constantly trying to keep in shape, watch out to gain weight, too much weight, because I think that our blood type or something that we gain weight easily in family.
Okay, that's an interesting.
We just look at food and gain weight. always a challenge, like with weight loss and gaining weight. I realize, those times when, I'm exercising, I'm doing the things, I'm eating properly. Sometimes I think maybe God just wants me in this body size right now. I've learned to embrace my curves, and you can still feel attractive, feel beautiful size. I think based on like clothes you're wearing, right? Dressing up for your body. At that age, you're so impressionable and so influenced by others. So it's definitely easy to compare and then feel self-conscious.
And it's sad that you have. I don't think any human should go through that, but so
I know we're here. I think at that age too, you don't even have the tools or the resources to cope with that. So I think maybe some kids might, but even if you're coming from a good family background, healthy childhood, it's still a challenge. Now looking back, I have so many different ways to cope with that kind of feeling, whereas at that time, not really.
And I also want to point out that the fact that at that age you're having those thoughts, they don't develop at that age. They were, I don't know when growing up, but and those weren't your thoughts. You heard them from someone and they became yours. And it was so much repeated growing up that it became part of your beliefs. And you grew up with that and now it became your identity. So at that age, when you're just trying to figure out what you want, you think that's a reality for you. So I don't know if this is true, if this is just my hypothesis. But if a kid grows up during his childhood, they heard positive things about how it's not even about the looks, they just receive that infinite love by their parents or whoever takes care of them. And they never hear anyone or anything else about comparison, especially like bodies. I'm talking about your appearance. I don't think you will have those thoughts when you get to that age.
I think you're right about that. I really like what you said about how the thoughts that you hear as a child, like, they're not really your thoughts even, they're just coming from
someone.
External influences. They shape your identity, and especially they shape it to that age, the teenage years.
Like you said, we didn't have the tools that we have now to question that. So even, I'm just sharing this, but I would hear my aunts or even my mom saying, "Oh no, you're not fat," or "You're beautiful." I never said I wasn't beautiful. Like, you don't use those terms interchangeably. That's what I'm trying to say. Even that, I don't even know how to call it. But you're focused on something and then someone else is trying to cover it with other things instead of looking at the main root issue. So
body image is big for girls, I think. But also, like, depending on your culture, because I know in my culture, like, weight is constantly talked about. As soon as I go see my grandma, first thing that's commented is, "Oh, you gained weight," or "You lost weight," or
say, "How are you?" I miss you. That's the first thing they say.
Or, "I don't like your hair."
Right. You won't make anyone happy.
Yeah.
There'll be always something that they will talk about.
That's why it's important to just focus on yourself and what makes you happy. Let's get into talking about what it was like growing up in Guatemala.
Okay, what age though? Different age, it's just different story.
As a child, also right up to the point where you decided to move.
My parents, they worked full time.
Okay.
I was took to a babysitter, full day babysitter. And I went to a different school that had school in the mornings and take in the
Yeah.
afternoon, and I really like that. I grew up surrounded
Same.
by kids all the time, different ages. The first time of my life, I was the oldest in the house. So I kind of had to take care of the little ones. When I
Yeah.
went to the school, I wasn't the oldest, and there were more kids, so I kind of played different roles growing up. And finally, I went to a school just for ladies, and I liked it there. I had so many opportunities. I won a scholarship to go to a private university, which in Guatemala, that's like, wow, a big deal, because otherwise you would go to the only public university. And we went there once as a school just to view the campus and stuff, and I didn't like it. Even people, we were walking one day and a guy yelled something so disrespectful, and everyone thought it was for me. I thought that was for me too, but I didn't say anything. And then everyone was like, "Oh my God, are you alright? What are you assuming that was for me?" But I can't compare it with growing up in the U.S. But if I see I see my sister's school life here in the U.S. and I see mine, and they were completely different. Over there, I had to use public transportation to go to school, and I think it was perfect for me. It was perfect for my personal growth, and I enjoyed it very much. I met so many wonderful people, for sure.
And did you grow up in a village or in the city?
In the city.
Oh, okay, interesting.
Mm.
And in a house, right?
Yes,
Okay.
but we were Guatemala City. It's complex to understand because it's a small country and it's a small city, and yet it takes you an hour to get from point A to point B, where normally would take you 30 minutes or 25, right, without traffic. But right now it's just so hectic that it
Mm,
takes you a lot of time.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that about Latin America too. I heard the commute in Brazil, like for instance, is so long. I guess there's lots of traffic. Everyone's coming into the city.
Yeah, and this time I went in January. I realized that they don't have any public transportation anymore. It's mainly Ubers and what they call motorcycle Uber or taxi. And so everyone is driving a car. So can you imagine just the amount of people driving there? I know that's not the topic, but what I'm saying is that it was a different story, and I'm just so grateful that I got to live that. Because now when I travel to different parts of South America, I can relate to that. It's not something new for me. It feels familiar.
And can you elaborate more on what you are grateful for specifically in that experience?
I'm gonna say memories. For instance, for Christmas, we would go with my aunt. Every single year until we moved to the States, we would go to her house to celebrate Christmas and New Year's. And I even have a video where one of my cousins, they were trying to lit some fireworks. I don't know what happened, that thing fell down. And all the fireworks were, coming towards us. And I
Oh
got
no.
a video of everyone running and those memories. Right now, here in the US, it's just my parents, my sister, and I. Even though we do create our own memories, we don't have them all together.
Mm,
Like,
yeah, having all
our
the
big
family.
family together. Just memories in general. My friends too in college. I met also so many wonderful people, and I was part of this club that it took us to a volcano. When we hiked a volcano, and then they also took us to the beach one time to look at the sea turtles. And
Oh,
so see, there's so many things that I miss about Guatemala,
yeah,
and that I'm so grateful that I grew up there living those. Uh,
yeah,
for instance, one day, and I was talking about this yesterday, for the Holy Week
yeah.
in Guatemala, we make carpets of sawdust.
Oh,
So,
interesting.
Holy Week carpets or Easter carpets. Or it might have been 2015 or 2014. We broke the Guinness record for the longest carpet. And my
Oh,
school went there just to recreate a carpet, to be part of that.
that's really cool. Oh my
Mm-hmm.
gosh. So the carpet was made from sawdust.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
I grew up watching that. It was just my normal. For Holy Week, we will recreate that, or build that, make that, the carpets.
Let's talk more about the culture too, right? In Guatemala. Do you resonate more with the customs and practices in your culture or more with the values passed on from generation to generation?
I wanted to be honest with who I am right now and the person I was before. And even though this time I went to Guatemala, I don't resonate with this custom anymore. At least not entirely. If you look at the definition, customs are traditional ways of behaving, thinking, and doing things that are shared by a group of people.
Yeah.
I can know for sure that if moving to the States, I don't think you forget who you are. As a person, I feel like I'm still Guatemalan, but there's some things that just those behaviors or way of thinking, I don't think I share those anymore. My long answer is I think I relate more to the values than customs. Just because at this moment in my life, I question enough to decide, I don't think that's for me.
Yeah.
But the values you up with them, and I still embodying it right now.
What would you say the values are in Guatemala?
Number one, family first.
Yeah.
And that's also a tricky one because you also need to, prioritize yourself. The decision often includes your extended family or just being loyal to your family. And the second one is respect for elders or authority figures, teachers, and community traditions. And even though I don't, like I said, I may not relate to some customs, I still recognize them and I still know that they're part of my background and my community traditions. Communities, solidarity, helping neighbors, just giving support in general. Traditions and spirituality. Guatemala, I grew up Catholic, but I know that we also have some Maya beliefs, and so there are some rituals and ceremonies that I like to watch, Mayan ones, for instance. And last one is humility. Just being polite. If you've been to Guatemala, you can sense, even you just step out of the airplane and you hear the welcome, good morning. And just that every single person, and you don't know anyone, even when you walk into a restaurant, hey, good morning. It's just that's it's a virtue, I think.
Yeah, that is, yeah. Like the hospitality and welcoming people.
And
Oh, I love that.
you need some help. You know that you're in Guatemala because of that feeling of welcoming.
Let's get more into talking about your family life. What kind of relationship do you have with your parents and with your siblings? What was it like growing up together?
I feel that question is just divided in two. Right now, my relationship with my parents, I think it's amazing. I love them both. I've come to a point to understand that they were perfect for me, and I just appreciate that. And also, they're a mirror of myself in general. Through them, I've learned to be more compassionate, empathy,
Empathetic.
empathetic. That's the word. Sorry,
Oh, really?
to be more compassionate with them, empathetic, and just grateful.
Yeah.
And same with my sister. Growing up, we would fight a lot, and then when we moved here, it was just different. I realized that I just had her, and she just had me. We're a team. I'm proud of my relationship with them, and also grateful. I love my family. Growing up was a different story, for sure. Different aspects of my childhood, I think I had a different relationship with them. But the one that stands out the most is when I was a teenager, just because I feel that's when this bad temper started showing more, because I just didn't know how to articulate my feelings or set my boundaries. I would react to certain situations, and my dad would react to that. and then my mom will react in a different way. I had this conflict within myself, and then this conflict with them, and just questioning everything, and just feeling alone, and that's probably it might be, that may be normal for humans to go
Yeah.
through that, but it was a different story back then.
Yeah, that's interesting. How did you start to express your boundaries with your family members?
I don't think it was that easy. And it took me a lot of inner work and self-respect, self-awareness, and start just saying yes to the things I wanted. Maybe not saying no to the things I didn't want, because I don't think I've completed that part yet. But saying yes to the things I wanted. I think last year was the first time when I was like, I want this for me, and I'm gonna do it. And it felt that way after taking a class that's called Love Your Body, and it wasn't even related to your parents and relationships whatsoever. It was just about emotions, feeling your emotions, allowing them to express, and that they were bringing the insight of what's going on, and that you need to pay attention to them. Being able to do that is when I realized I think I need to do this, and because I feel this, so I'm saying yes to those things. And that's when I did my first solo trip to Peru, and from there, even though I had my dad saying things, just communicating his concerns, and my mom too. And I even asked one of my mentors, I know I want to do this, but I'm just so afraid. It took me a while to say, I heard about the trip, I said yes in that moment. And then it took me a while to actually do something, right? Because you have to pay for the trip. And I had the money, I didn't have that like self-strength. And so I talked with her, and she kind of just guided me through that. And I was able to talk to my parents and say, you know what, I know you're concerned about this, but I'm old. Not in that sense, but I'm a responsible person. You taught me well. You show me be responsible. You show me how to be just aware of my surroundings. You taught me well, so I don't think you need to be concerned about anything. Just, you show me the way, and I feel this is the moment for me to start exploring that way and talking to them that way. Even though my dad wasn't there yet, I bought the ticket, my flight ticket, and I knew that I was going on that trip, and that's it. So from there, it just, like I said, saying yes to the things I wanted. And then eventually, when I didn't feel like doing things, or they wanted me to do something that I didn't feel, this wasn't the right time to do it, I would tell them, hey, this is not the right time, we can do it another time. And you learn it. You will learn how to set that pace with them. And I'm talking about my parents because I live with them. But in life in general, once you start doing it with the persons that the people that you have more close to you, it'll be easier to do it with the world.
And the solo trip as a woman is huge. I think all women need to experience that.
Yeah.
Once, but multiple times, ideally. But yeah, it's such a pivotal experience. Like, how old were you when you went on that trip?
That was last year, 26.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I wasn't even 18. No, I think that was the right thing to do at the right time. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm glad that you're doing that earlier. My first solo trip was last year, so I was 30.
That's fine. I mean, it doesn't matter the age. It's about now.
Exactly.
Whatever now it's for you, it's now. Do it now.
Oh, but I like what you said about you have to start with saying yes to the things that you want, and then slowly start to tell them no. That is easier.
But yeah, I mean, it's how you set your boundaries, really. That's basically it. Because now you're prioritizing yourself, how you feel, what you want. And obviously, it's not like you're gonna close the door to them. It's not like that. It's just you're changing their focus to yourself now. Just prioritizing yourself instead of the outside.
Yeah.
That could be anyone, not just your parents.
Yeah, exactly. You mentioned a while ago that you went to an all-girls school. What was that experience like? Because I think that's so interesting when someone is going to either an all-girls school or all-boys school. It was that in high school?
I liked it. It was amazing. I had this prejudice that maybe it was gonna be hard because it was all girls, and by that time there was a TV show called Patito Feo, like ugly duck, if you translate that. And it showed just no a girl that didn't quite fit the beauty standards, and all the other girls just making fun of her. And I felt that way. So I was feeling a little nervous, but then I went there, boom, I made friends. I still talk to them, some of them right now, and it was amazing. It just, we help each other, we had some amazing teachers. I liked it. It was a beautiful experience. It had some things that maybe you would question it, but overall you learn from them, and you learn from yourself as a girl. Just having to share another room with more girls, you question that. Are we all like this? It's a beautiful experience, I think, just to be surrounded by more girls your age.
That's what I was curious about, how it shaped you as a woman and how it shaped your idea of femininity too.
At the time, I didn't know that term,
Right.
but I felt welcoming by them. And I think I learned the feeling of being taken care of the feeling of belonging. I also had some insecurities growing up and being there. But in overall, you learned that you have that support from more women. Just to be friends with women and not to be jealous of them. Right? I'm saying them as if I'm not a woman. But there's a moment in your life when you're just, for some reason, you start feeling some negative feelings towards women in general. But no, like, we're strong. We should be united. And I feel like I had that. I don't think we took advantage of all the opportunities that we had as a group, in my class. We had an amazing teacher. She was teaching it so much, like health related stuff, specifically feminine healthcare. And I don't think we took advantage of that. It just felt like I could be more sympathetic towards the women in my life in general.
Wow. See, that's something that I would not have considered, but it makes a lot of sense. And yeah, what you said about not competing with other women and that we should be united, I love that. I didn't think that that was something that comes from that experience, because it's really sad how competitive we are with other women, how jealous, right?
Why? For a guy, you guys, why?
Oh my gosh. It's I don't know why it's like that, right? And that's such a healthy way of seeing other women, I think. I have to
Yeah.
admit, my bias for these same-sex schools, I would have thought that, oh, okay, maybe you're gonna have trouble connecting with like the opposite sex or whatever. But actually, there's so much good to it too.
Yeah, it gives you some sort of encouragement too, because you create some sort of sisterhood with them. And now that you mentioned that, I feel the always attracting community is just that. Think about it.
Yes, it is. That's what I feel about that community too, because it is mostly women and plus
So,
men.
yeah.
But I love that though. I mean, even again, at first when I joined, I was like, okay, all women. My preference is I like to have a mix of men and women. So I'm not used to being around like solely women. It's been a very healthy experience and I really enjoy that, and I need this growth too, I think,
Mm-hmm.
because it's helping me to see like other successful women, other beautiful women as not my competition. Actually, we're here to just support each other
Mm-hmm.
and help each other. I would not have thought about that in the all girls school for sure, because sometimes, unfortunately, negative stereotype with us women is the cattiness and like the gossiping.
We just communicate. That's it.
Once you're on the bad side of girl, you're done. It's over for you.
Um, yeah, I could see. Yeah, I can see that. Oh man. You know the beauty. Oh yeah, the beauty of that school is that some of them were together ever since kindergarten. I was with them for 2 years. Some
Oh
of
my
them
gosh.
knew each other for 15 years or so.
Wow. It's a long time.
That's a long time. And I was afraid that I was gonna fit in because of that. Just, I'm a new girl, how could I? But it was completely, I couldn't be more mistaken. They were just welcoming, warming, and friendly.
Oh, I love that. That's such a beautiful experience. It's so formative to your view of other women. I think that's underlooked for sure, how women view other women. We definitely need more like that healthy support from other women for
Hmm.
sure. I want to revisit the topic too of language. How would you say like the Spanish language has influenced your thinking, or has it?
What do you mean?
Have you noticed, do you have kind of a different personality when you're speaking in Spanish versus English?
Oh, yeah. Well, I've noticed maybe just my voice, I think, changes a little bit. I am friends with a lot of Colombian women, and I just love how they speak. And I kind of picked up their accent a little bit. I have my Guatemalan accent. In fact,
Okay.
when I go there and I hang out with my friends, I can hear it again. But here in the US, I just got a mix of all the accents because I like that. I like to hear how they speak and I try to imitate the
I love
sound of
that.
words. Could be that my personality changes, but I don't think so. I'm funny both ways. And in English.
I find language, depending on the language, you pick up like a different personality. At least like for me, like in our native language, which is Slovakian, like at
Mhm.
home, I find I'm sillier and there's funny jokes. There's funny jokes too in English, but the energy is different and it's more snappy too, more of an attitude.
For real, yeah. In English, I feel like I need to be more professional.
Yeah.
When I work, I need to use words like I look forward to something like that. Maybe because I only speak English like in a corporate environment. I mean, I speak English anywhere, but I'm more used to the corporate environment that I've carried those words or terminology to my day to day. Whereas in Spanish, I'm like, and I just say a bunch of words that I shouldn't say.
Like, even in English, corporate speech is so funny. Oh my gosh. Like, starting an email, I hope this email finds you
You
well.
can use that. But I use like, hey team, this is the update for the week.
I know. I don't use that one because I just feel like,
Why did we do it like you well?
yeah, there have been some funny memes with that one.
Mm-hmm. And now that you said that, I think it's different also Spanish in a corporate environment. I'm not familiar with that. I don't relate to that. I use Spanish as a way to relax myself and being calm and just cool. But I hear my friends and it's kind of the same. Um, if Spanish, was my really the first language I use the most, I probably would see that more. I may be choosing English as a way to be more flexible and more goofy. I think so. That's what I think. I don't know because I'm not there.
If working in a professional environment where Spanish was the
The main,
language,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
then you would learn all like the professional lingo.
Spanish at that point would be formal. Now let's speak in English because it's funner.
True. I didn't think about that point. Let's move more into now like when did you come to the States? So you said that you went with your whole family. One sister's is
Guatemala.
still in Guatemala.
Hmm.
Yeah, so most of your immediate family is with you. So what was that experience like of deciding to immigrate, and how did you guys make the choice to go to the US?
It was graduation day when my dad told us, and this is high school graduation. He told me, "Hey, we got the residency card to go and live in the US. Is that something that you wanna do?" And by that time, I had my scholarship. I was already enrolled at the university, and I was like, "What if we just wait until I graduate and then we go?" So I can finish my studies here and go there. We pushed that decision for 2 years. We were
Wow.
traveling back and forth. One day the immigration officer told us, "You guys, you can't keep doing this. You have to make a choice. You either come here and live here or you go to Guatemala." And that was, the decision, pivotal moment when I had to make a decision. And I went to my my college, and I told them, "Thank you for the scholarship, but I won't need it anymore." And my sister, I think she was in elementary school, so it wasn't that big of a deal. It was more for me, I think. And my dad also quit his job, and we just came to the US. We lived in Florida for maybe 3 months. We couldn't find a job. Then we moved to Missouri, and I started working for the company I still work for to this day. I was working full time and being a part-time student. I went online because that same company helped me pay part of my tuition fee. 4 years later, I think, 5, I graduated college, and I got an internship offer from the same company. I took it, and I mean, I'm still working for the same company now in a different position. So that's my long story short.
It's such a hard decision too, but like you said, it's helpful to go, and it's totally different to go together as a family or most of your immediate family. You have so much support and you're together. It's still challenging though. It's still difficult.
I just didn't tell you that. I just skipped that part. It was a hard decision. I mean, when we were in Florida, I kept wondering, was this the right thing? Because I could be, in school right now and be fine. But I don't think I was also enjoying college in Guatemala either.
Hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, I'm grateful for that. It was a hard decision to make, but I made it, and I'm grateful that I followed my heart.
If you had said no, it would have been you and your sister in Guatemala, and would your parents have moved to the US then? Just them?
No,
Oh,
it
okay.
was, yeah, my dad he's very vocal about it. He says that he did it for us, right? That he moved to the States for us. It was hard for us as kids or young adults.
Yeah,
It was harder for him, definitely. All his
because
life in Guatemala, and I'm here.
yeah, let's get into some of the challenges. What have been the challenges of moving to the U.S. and living away from home?
Number one, I think everyone faces this. It's just discomfort.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I was depressed the
yeah,
first couple of months, if not years. Also, you miss your family.
yeah.
Even if, I had my dad here and my sister, my mom was still in Guatemala. And so we kept thinking about that. The language, obviously. We took classes after work, English classes, and I think that helped me a lot. But at first, it was that my sister needed to go to school after we moved here, and she was also facing that same issue. There were kids that they really didn't speak any word in English, and that's even harder for them because in their household they only speak Spanish, and in school they only speak English. How's that for a kid? Another challenge I think would be, and this is just personal. I don't think this is for everyone, but just a sense of belonging.
Yeah.
And it gets worse if you, in your mind, think of you as not worthy of being here, or maybe lesser than the rest of the people. This is, I call myself thinking they're US people, they're more than I am, they're better than I am. Things like that. having that mindset obviously messes with you and your self-esteem because you're comparing yourself to someone, and you won't, if you keep stuck in that mindset, there's no way you'll see all the opportunities that the country has for you. You don't feel worthy of taking them.
That's very true. That's an important point, I think, that you mentioned. And the sense of belonging. Like, belonging is it's such a love language, I would say. And
Yeah.
like, when someone says that, you belong here, that's like almost better than I love you for me. Not a right to be here. You like,
Well,
uh,
I think that's it. Just the right of being alive and the right to be wherever you are.
and then you're part of this place. You're part of this country, part of this event, part of this space, whatever it is that you feel you belong to. I went to the concert once, and the musician said, "Doesn't matter what your background is, you belong here." And that hits so deep, you know?
It's your frequency of it.
So yeah, what you said about belonging is huge. How did you shift that mindset that I'm worthy to be here and I belong here?
It wasn't easy, and I'm pretty sure it took me 7 years. But it started, and this may sound shallow, but it started with BTS. Really, they have an album called Love Yourself. That was the first album I heard from them.
Wait, what's BTS? Sorry.
BTS, yes. BTS is a Korean boy band.
Oh, okay.
Love you so much. Salameo, BTS.
Sorry, I didn't know that.
Really? Okay. I'm just all about BTS. Anyway, I started listening to their music, and they talk about loving yourself and just feeling good with yourself, accepting who you are, and all of that. And eventually, my journey of inner work started, and at some point, probably it might have been 4 weeks ago, when I had that coaching call with Aaron, when he told me, okay, why don't you write a list of 50 things that you like about being a Latina. And I was like, okay, that shouldn't be that hard. But he recommended that exercise because I told him exactly what I was telling you, right? With different words, obviously, but it was just that feel of not being worthy because I'm here in a country that's not, with a different background, and that I was comparing myself to the rest of US people. And that list made me realize that I am so much more than just being a Latina.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. I could be from a different country too. It doesn't matter where I'm from. I'm still worthy of being where I am.
Yes.
And all the effort that I put into practice and into becoming the person I am. So it goes beyond that. That's just a shallow way, but your mind needs to understand that. Your mind needs to understand those superficial things so that you can see more and you can then start feeling it.
That's so big. Yeah, I mean, I want to also know what some of the things you wrote, like why you're proud to be a Latina, but now that you mention as well, you are more than just a Latina. That's one part of your identity. I guess let's start with that and with some of the things you said about why you're proud to be a Latina.
Why? Oh man. Number one, I feel like I just have a way to pronounce names that people is like, oh my gosh, that's like
I love the Spanish pronunciation. Honestly, it's beautiful. Like one of the girls I met, so it was my coworker, his wife. Her name is Adelaida. Like that's such a beautiful name, but I feel like it sounds so much better in Spanish.
It hits differently. Yeah,
It
like
does.
more sweet. I don't know. It gives a different sensation, I feel.
It's more special or something. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Like a whisper.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that very much. I also been receiving a lot of compliments about my accent. That was
Oh,
one thing that I was self-assured to. Didn't feel quite confident speaking in English because of that. And
mm,
then just random people. And so I like that. That's one of the things I also like about being a Latina, I think. Also salsa,
yeah.
like dancing salsa. I
Yes,
am a
dancing.
natural, even though I feel I need to take classes.
Well, yeah, like you grew up with the music, so
Hmm.
like you have that musicality in you.
Yeah,
Yeah. But I shouldn't assume. I remember
that's
there
fine.
was a Colombian man. Oh my gosh, I'll never forget that. Like I said that all of you guys know how to dance in Latin America, and he's like, no.
Not all of us can. But I grew up, like I said, one of the things that made me happy as a child was music videos, and I just like to dance. So I feel that's something natural for me. Another thing I like about being a Latina is just my cultural background.
Yeah.
I have so many things to share about that, stories and stuff, and people like that. Even my country, I like my country too. I have this thought or wish that I could take people there and and hey, this is where I grew up and this is the lake and let's go and hike the volcano, show them Guatemala.
No, it's such a blessing to experience someone else's culture for sure.
Hmm. Oh yeah, definitely.
I agree. I love that. How did you add to the list outside of being a Latina? What makes you proud to be who you are?
What makes me proud? I'm a happy person, and I also like to make people have a good time. And when they laugh, I also laugh, and I feel that's just a great medicine.
That's so true. Oh my gosh. Laughing is healing.
I just like my sense of being present too, and that's a good combination for me, I think.
Oh, I love that. Yes. But let's get into the holistic therapy. I'm super excited.
Okay,
Where did this desire to pursue this path come from?
I'm gonna say when I went to that trip to Peru, that was last year. Between there and that class I took about loving yourself and love your body, in the middle of both experiences, I was like, okay, would I be able to do the same? I was just questioning that. And then I went to Peru, and it was a solo trip, but I actually went there with a group of people. Um, that I didn't know. I met them there. But two
Wow.
of them, at some point, they were in holistic therapies too, and I just saw their lifestyle. They were just doing what they wanted and traveling and helping people. And that was the moment I started questioning that even more. Then I met Aaron, and he's telling us about all of his trips and how he has that freedom of traveling and working in any part of the world, helping people.
Yeah.
So that just stuck with me, and then I saw this class and I took that. But I thought that was just when I bought it. I was like, okay, this is just for me, self healing techniques and stuff.
Yeah.
And then I mentioned something to Aaron, and he kind of made me question that in a different perspective. Hey,
Yeah.
why don't you actually start doing that? Take classes and see how you feel and
Oh.
where this will take you. And 2 weeks later, I saw this other class that it was more completed or had more stuff in it. And I was like, okay, I'll take it, but with a different mindset now. Instead of just being something for me to apply for myself, actually putting that extra effort to practice it in more people and not just for me or the community. And that's how it started. But it's been a thought that's been in my mind. I didn't allow me to look at it at the time. I'm ready to actually say, hey, this is something I want to do. I grew up watching this. My aunt is also a holistic therapist.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So it's in the family too.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I didn't know how to do it, and I have more information, and I now have more examples from
Yeah.
other people. So I know where can this take me, how that looks like, and I can shape it to my own benefit or my own desires.
Let's get into what Yeah, what is your vision for holistic therapy and what does that mean exactly? Just to have an understanding as well.
Okay, so for me, the way I want to do this is through it's also receiving angelical help, my angels and archangels. Work with them. They have so much wisdom to share, and all the practices and techniques that I've learned, we work with them. And the idea I have is just connection with your body, because
Yeah.
it's not normal for us to get sick. It's not normal for us to die of cancer. I know it will involve angel divine help or support, and also alignment with mind, emotions, and body, and also
Yeah.
something related with identity too. So I have those three things. How? I have no idea. That's when Maria said, "Hey, you guys, you need to start sharing."
Yeah.
That's something I want to start doing. Sharing my progress, my how I'm perceiving this. Now I'm just
Yeah.
gonna share what I'm going through and what I'm doing to overcome that.
No, I really like that. And that's such important work right now, too, I think, because, like you said, I agree with you. I don't think it's natural for us to be sick, to have cancer. This is a product of stress and not being connected to our energetic selves as well. I think you're right. And there's so much work to be done here in this field of wellness, and I fully support your journey.
Definitely. And sometimes you just need that guidance. I don't think we need to be healing more.
Yep.
It just actually integrating or just remind ourselves that we're already there. You don't have to do anything. If you think about it, you are a complete being already. Stop looking for answers outside of you. And I feel
Yeah.
like that's where I'm going to just give that support, that guidance.
I agree with that too. We're already whole as we are. For instance, relationships. I know that's something that's always said. Oh, you need to be fully healed until you. No, you heal together with the partner.
Point of being in a relationship.
Like some of the deepest healing I've done was with the partner in relationships, not on my own, because you can say, "Oh, I'm not gonna criticize," or "I'm not gonna do this," but then the real test is how you are in the relationship. Did you actually learn the lesson, or were you just okay because you were on your own? Even if you didn't learn the lesson yet, okay, here's the opportunity now to work on that. So I always find it's really interesting how people came to spirituality, how people came to consciousness. When did that awakening happen for you? What was the moment that triggered that? How did you experience that spiritually?
I wanted to choose just one moment, but like I said, I think a series of experiences that at some point I started questioning, why is my life like this? Why am I going through this? Why everyone else has what I want, but I don't have it? Just asking that why. And I found a class. It's been courses in class after class, course after course. And with this woman, I learned about being a magnetic woman, about feminine and masculine energy. And there's a practice called family constellation therapy.
Oh, okay. I heard of that.
Okay, and so that and a few things that just opened my mind to a different reality. That's when I started seeing that I wasn't allowing myself to feel my emotions. I wouldn't cry or I wouldn't get mad because I was bad. I would get mad or I would have that feeling of crying, but I wouldn't allow me to actually fully express that. I took another class with her and 5 different classes with different mentors or 4, and eventually it became this is life now. I started questioning even my behaviors and my beliefs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And one thing led to another, and now I'm here.
That's what I find with the spiritual awakening experience. It completely shifts every aspect of your life, and then you can't go back to like being asleep kind of
Oh, you
thing.
can. Even if you try to force yourself. Maybe this time will be different because I don't believe that anymore. No, I've tried it. And that's also part of your self-trust, I think. Because
Yeah.
you don't want to let go of those beliefs because you grew up with them. They were
Yeah.
part of your identity. And then one day they're just not. And you question that and you think something is wrong, or maybe you're wrong and you don't trust your intuition. But then one day it's just a fully yes, no, that's not what you want to do. You don't relate to that anymore.
Yeah, that's the ego death, right? That's letting the old self die away and then to bring in the new. I feel I'm still in that transition where the new version of me has not arrived yet, but also I can't go back to the old. I'm still transitioning and it's been a process, but yeah, I feel I am closer to being who I want to be right now.
And why do you think you haven't allowed your new self to be in control or to be fully present?
There's some aspects of the old self I'm still clinging to or thinking maybe I can hold on to this. And meanwhile, my new self is like, okay, what's taking so long?
And it's just aspects of your life, right? It's
Yeah,
not everything. There's some aspects of your life that for some reason you don't take that step or you don't
yeah.
allow yourself to do that. But it could be as easy as just say, you know what, no more.
I feel this is just a mindset shift. I want to ask you again, actually, about the angels, because I think that's so interesting. What draws you to the angels? And because you said they hold so much wisdom, where does that belief come from?
So I grew up Catholic. I pray to my guardian angel every single day since I was, I don't know how old. And
Yeah.
so I always had that belief. During my trip to Peru, the two girls I went to, I mean the organizers, my mentors, both of them, they work with the angels, with archangels too. And that's how I was introduced to them in a different way. And that whole trip, it felt so magical. We experienced so many blessings. It was incredible. And I always knew that we have spiritual guides. I mean, they're here. And actually, I think they're here with us right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, definitely.
And now with these classes, I've just learned that they're open to help you. You just need to ask for help. They can do anything because you have your free will. You could be suffering and going through a lot of pain or whatever, but they won't be able to help you until you ask for their divine help. I just clicked with that. I went there to Peru, and it was so easy to connect with them, with my two mentors, and with the whole trip. And now it's just all about the angels. And I talk about them as if they were in my family. But it's just wonderful. It comes naturally to me.
Oh, I love that. So would you work with them through prayer, meditation? Like, how would you work with them?
Right now, the way I channel their messages is through writing
Oh, okay.
and candles and meditation too, or
Yeah.
my oracle cards. That way, really, even through smells too.
Wow, amazing. Smells are so powerful too. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah.
In the past maybe for a couple of years, my sense of smell has gotten so much better. I can pick up scents very easily now, which is good or bad, because then I also get the bad scent.
Yeah.
So when someone smells bad, it's very noticeable for me.
Strong.
It's
Mhm.
difficult.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to just go away from that person.
I,
Yeah.
I do sense the energy. Like I can feel my mood change when I'm with someone. I don't feel that good if they have lower frequency or something.
I believe that for sure too. Like we can feel energies. That was something that I learned from my mom too. She always believed that as well. I remember sometimes I come from school and I'd be like, yeah, I'm down. But I'd go to school really excited and happy. And she would tell me, oh, that's because someone brought down your energy. And I was like, yeah, that's true. Or someone was looking at you intensely. We also have that too.
Okay.
That kind of belief. Someone has a powerful stare and they look at you intensely. Sometimes that shifts your energy. I'm sensitive to energies as well in the room.
I mean, it's like a superpower, but
It
sometimes it
is.
could be draining.
Yeah.
Either way.
It can.
I like it when you get really hype because you know that that person is so great.
I want to ask you as well, about femininity. What does it mean to be a woman for you? What does a feminine energy mean for you?
For me, being a woman means abundance. It means strength and divine connection.
Yeah.
It means magnetism. Like just wow, like a cosmos. It's just the source.
It is. Yeah. It's creation.
Yeah, that's the word. It means creation. It means life.
What is something new you've learned about your femininity lately?
The more conscious I am about how I feel, my emotions, my thoughts, and the way I react to life instead of making decisions from its calm state, the more feminine I feel I become. One thing I've learned about my femininity lately is that the less I do, the more I get.
It's big. That's huge.
The less effort you put in, the more you get. It's about being present.
Yeah.
And that's it. Being present with yourself and feeling good. And sometimes, even if you don't feel good, that's also magnetizing. You need to be careful, right? Because your thoughts and your emotions is what you manifest. So actually, you're not manifesting wrong. You're manifesting right what you really feel like manifesting. Just to be aware of that. But yeah, it just that feeling of being present and calm, that's powerful.
That is huge. Presence and and I love what you said too about the less effort we put, the more we get. I've noticed that, and not just even in dating, but just in general, even in dance. One of the best nights I had for dancing, I remember I thought, you know what? I don't care if no one asks me to dance. I'm just here to enjoy the music and just vibe and maybe chat with some people there too, right? And that was one of the best nights I had for dancing. The guys kept coming over to me to ask me to dance.
And that's because you're in a mindset where you genuinely don't care. You don't care about the outcome. You know that your whole purpose is to enjoy, and that's it.
I just wanted to enjoy. Let's wrap up as um, here with my last question. What are you doing today to honor your inner child?
How am I honoring my inner child?
Yeah.
I think right now I'm being more open to do what I want to experience and not being afraid of external opinions or really what am I afraid of?
Yeah.
Just allowing myself to say no and to say yes to the things I want, to place boundaries, to question, oh wait, is this something my new version, my new identity would do? Or how my new identity would do this? Because I don't think it's about a new identity. It's about reconnecting with your desires, right? And give you permission to live by those desires, to do those things that you like.
Yeah.
That old version, that old identity, it was just a mask. And now I'm taking that off and I'm seeing the world as my inner child did at some point. And based on adults' comments, criticism, or other things that made me question, oh, maybe that's not the right thing to do. Maybe that's not the right thing to think, to say. to wear or those things. And now that I'm taking that mask off, I'm like, okay, no, I want to try that. Maybe that looks good on me. Maybe,
Yeah.
and I feel good on that. So that's, that's how I'm allowing to express my inner childhood desires.
I love that. That's really nice. I think it's again a balance of connecting with our light selves and the dark selves. That's something I've been learning as well, connecting with my dark femininity, um,
Uh,
and not suppressing those desires. Yeah, that's huge. And it's healing too, because you're pouring more love back into yourself, and you are trusting yourself with the desires as well, and accepting that part of you.
mhm. What's one thing that you practice to embody that dark feminine that you're talking about?
I'm gonna talk about dance. I don't rush on the dance floor. I kind of like scope out the scene, check out like who I want to dance with, I'll clock that in my head.
I want that guy and that guy. It's so funny.
I think like who I want to dance with, who I want to avoid.
Okay.
I don't like the flashy dancers. Or yeah, for me, a good dance is in the partner connection,
Mhm.
and it's how the guy leads you.
Mhm.
So I look at how he's leading in the dance, and then that's who I want to dance with based on how they're leading. Uh and yeah, then after someone will approach, and then I accept the dance. I accept the first dance. I usually have that mindset though now when I go for my dance. Come in with the mindset, even if no one asks me to dance, like I'll still be fine. I'm still gonna enjoy the night. And actually, I've also shifted that too. I even have as well like the mindset now. I'm gonna dance with exactly who I'm meant to dance with when I go to these events as well. I don't worry too much now, like, oh, hold on, I want to get a dance with this guy. Yeah, even if I don't get a dance with someone who I wanted to, I know that whoever I dance with that night, that's who I'm meant to dance with.
Mhm.
That's my mindset there, and that's where the dark femininity is manifesting.
It's just like you said, owning your boundaries without guilt, not abandoning yourself for approval. That's a big one. And being comfortable with intensity and emotional depth.
Yeah, thank you. All right, Jackie. I want to say thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
Absolutely.
It was an absolute pleasure. So much fun. Yeah, so many laughs.
It was so great. I feel what you're doing with your podcast is gonna get to the right people at the right moment, and it will inspire them and motivate them. I know that you said that your goal was to inspire especially guys, because I can feel that, I can see that maybe more women are doing the work instead of guys, and it could be so many reasons, right? We could be wrong, and actually there are as many guys as doing the work as women. But still, I feel your podcast will get to the right guys, and hopefully they will feel inspired and confident with themselves and know that they're actually pretty cool women that are working on their feminine energy so that they can wake up their masculine energy.
I love that. Thank you so much. I appreciate
Totally.
you.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for inviting me.
And yeah, you can find Jackie's information in the description, and yeah, check out her socials. She's going to be doing amazing things.
Yeah, I will.
See how it unfolds and how it expands.
Yeah, thank you, Elizabeth, so much. I really appreciate your companionship and this podcast, and for inviting me too.
Yeah, thank you, Jacky. All right, you guys. So thank you as well to my audience and my community. I'll see you guys next week.
Thank you, guys.